Yo! What's good, everybody? Now, you guys have been spamming my IG at Cash Nasty. We're back at it again with another. I'm joking, y'all. That's Cash Nasty's video intro. Everybody knows that. But anyways, today we are reacting to what's it called? How Soul proves the Pixar theory. Now, you guys know that movie Soul. You know, with Joe Carter in 22. It's on Disney Plus. So if you watch this, there's probably gonna be some spoilers. But anyways, let's get to the video, y'all.
Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers, I'm Jan, and in this video I'm explaining how Pixar's new movie Soul proves the theory that all the studio's films take place in an interconnected universe.
I'm eating my sunflower seeds.
I'll also show you how Soul explains the Toy Story movies, where the Incredibles get their powers, and the origins of the magical doorways in Monsters, Inc.
Hold on, they did all of that? Sorry, y'all. Hold on. I did not know it did all of that now. I did not know. All I thought was Soul proved the meaning of life.
And Brave. Plus, I'll explain how the new film fits in with Inside Out and Coco. Of course, there'll be some spoilers, so take care.
Told you guys there's gonna be some spoilers.
John Negroni first introduced the idea of a single Pixar timeline, and it's in Soul's The Hall of Everything where we can find especially compelling evidence to confirm Negroni's theory. The hall is overflowing with specific objects and locations which often recur in Pixar's films, from the iconic Pizza Planet truck to the blimp from Up, and
Bro, I did not notice that. Yo, that's kind of cool.
Even the weirdly shaped rock called Willie's Butte from the Cars movies. And that's a huge pointer that the movies exist in the same universe. But Soul goes even further than this, because even though the film appears to be set roughly in the present day, which I'm basing on the look and feel of New York and the cell phone Joe uses.
Yo, I'm really... Hold on. Never mind.
The Hall of Everything even has objects from the future, such as the Axiom from WALL-E, one of a fleet of giant starliners that wasn't used until 20.
Bro, I did not notice this at all in the movie.
By and large, arranged for the evacuation of the Earth. This implies that the Hall of Everything may even contain blueprints, or at least the inspiration for events that are still to come in the future of the Pixar universe. Soul also demonstrates one of the most important concepts at the heart of Negroni's Pixar theory, that humans are batteries. The idea is that human beings are a source of energy to sentient objects, such as the toys in Toy Story, which is why they crave the love of their...
Bro, wanna know something weird about Toy Story? I'm just trying to know how they did not know these toys could come alive, bro. Like, what would y'all do if y'all found Woody just walking around? Like, would y'all not be scared? Because I would. Like, I kick that thing, bro.
Owners. Otherwise, it's suggested that if the toys end up stored away, they lose their life. And in Monsters, Inc., we know that technology exists that can harvest energy from human emotions such as fear or joy. And there are several moments in Soul that strongly support this idea of humans as an energy source. When Joe is on the elevator that leads to the great beyond, he notices that as the souls of the recently deceased float up into the big bright light, they fizzle and crackle like an electrical charge. As if to reinforce this idea that a soul is a form of energy, there's also an electrical crackle sound effect whenever we see Terry counting souls on her abacus. Joe also discovers in The Great Before that before new souls...
Bro, I did not know this. Like, is a soul like a form of energy, bro? Is it?
...can take their place on Earth, they not only have to acquire a set of personalities, but they also need what the movie calls a spark to complete that personality. Without this spark, theoretically, a soul isn't allowed to go to Earth and live a human life. 22 does end up on Earth by accident, but the general rule is that a spark is needed to complete the Earth pass, which a soul needs to live a life. The word spark can, of course, mean a number of things, such as
I didn't watch Onward, but I could tell that movie was garbage.
a burst of electricity or an intense feeling or emotion, which again points to this idea of human beings as a form of energy, or batteries even. Another crucial element of Negroni's Pixar theory is the idea that Boo from Monsters, Inc. travels back in time to become the witch in Brave. I'll get to how Soul supports this idea shortly, but first let's quickly recap what the theory says about time travel. Brave is set in 10th century Scotland, whereas given the monster's advanced technology, Monsters, Inc. takes place in the future. The clearest evidence which suggests time travel is the wood carving of Sully that the witch has in her cottage. She's also
Ain't no way, bro. This has got to be a coincidence, bro. Ain't no way they're time traveling, bro.
Also obsessed with bears, which could be her way of expressing the strong friendship she made with Sully in Monsters, Inc. On top of that, the witch has carvings of the Pizza Planet truck, which would be impossible given that motorised vehicles most definitely didn't exist in medieval Scotland. And she's carved parodies of famous art by artists from the future like Michelangelo. The door to the witch's cottage is also magical and can transport her into an alternate interior version of her hut, and it can also make her disappear. This is because Boo learned how the technology of the portal doors at the Monsters Inc. factory worked, which is how she travelled through time and space. Crucially in Soul, we can see this same technology in the U seminar. After Soul's...
Bro! I get it now, though. I get it. It's actually making sense.
Paired up with their mentor, Jerry conjures up a door and sends them through it, instantly transporting them to another location. And when Jerry gives Joe his second chance to return to Earth, he passes from the Great Beyond through a door and emerges on Earth through another door. Given the Great Before existed at the beginning of time, it suggests that the technology for magical portals in the Pixar universe was originally born there. Soul also makes a sneaky possible reference to Boo's time travel shenanigans in what initially appears to be a throwaway line by one of the Jerrys. When Terry turns up to complain that the count is out by one soul, Jerry replies,
"I seriously doubt that. The count hasn't been off in centuries."
Bro!
This is a vital piece of information for Pixar theorists because it tells us that an anomaly, similar to Joe escaping the elevator that was taking him to the Great Beyond, has happened previously, several hundred years ago in fact. To understand what may have happened
So all these people from Toy Story, Mike Wazowski, Brave, WALL-E, and Soul, every Pixar movie, and Cars, they're all in the same universe, bro. That's kind of cool.
All those centuries ago, let's look at what happened when Joe's soul accidentally fell into the body of Mr. Mittens.
Why am I in a cat?
I don't know!
It seems that Mr. Mittens' soul was sent off to the Great Beyond. So what if Boo did a similar thing when she time travelled to medieval Scotland? Could she have landed in the body of a Scottish woman and displaced her soul, sending it up to the Great Beyond?
Bro!
That would mean there'd be an extra soul in the afterlife without...
Bro! This is actually adding on, though.
...out a corresponding dead body on Earth, which could be the reason for the count being off, as Jerry said. Interestingly, when Joe returns to his body and soul, Mr. Mittens appears to regain his original soul too, as we see him reunite with his owner. So
yeah,
if
really
my theory about Boo and the witch's soul is correct, it makes me wonder whether Terry did anything about the anomaly that occurred in the soul count hundreds of years ago. By the way, it's worth pointing out that there's also a Brave Easter egg in Soul during the video at the U seminar, when we see a soul find its spark after it successfully shoots an arrow into the centre of one of 3 targets.
I don't think that was a Easter egg, though.
Referencing Merida's demonstration of archery skills when she fired arrows into 3 targets. And there are, of course, many more Pixar Easter eggs.
I'm really about to roast this dude. Look at this dude's egg forehead, bro. I'm about to roast this man with the big nose, bad jacket, blue shirt, ugly Kurt. What in the world did I just say?
Eggs in Seoul, including the Chinese takeout box, A113 and the Luxo ball, all of which I reveal in my full Easter eggs video. Now, there are 2 Pixar movies, Inside Out and Coco, which on the surface seem to contradict Soul and maybe pose a problem for how smoothly it fits into the interconnected universe of the Pixar theory. The first issue is to do with personality. In The Great Before, we discover that every soul acquires a set of personalities before they go to Earth.
This is where personalities come from?
Of course. Do you think people are just born with them?
However, in Inside Out, personalities are formed whenever a new core memory is made.
Each core memory powers a different aspect of Riley's
Oh yeah, so that theory won't work at all.
personality. The islands of personality are what make Riley.
While these ideas about personality may appear to be at odds with one another, they can be easily reconciled if we think of a newborn soul as having a baseline personality at birth, some of which adapts and changes as that person grows up and has different
You know, I might react to, I might watch Inside Out after this, bro.
experiences. In fact, in Inside Out, we see that Riley loses her personalities when she experiences a traumatic event. However, these are later restored and new ones are also added as she grows up. So an individual's personality is clearly not something static or unchanging. Likewise, Soul also shows us how 22's personality changes as she experiences life on Earth. Something else we need
Bro, 22 is such a brat, bro. But she was kind of cool, though. So she was like a brat, but kind of cool. How does that even work?
to reconcile is how Coco's Land of the Dead fits with Soul's depiction of the Great Beyond. In Soul, the afterlife is a relatively simple place, with an escalator that leads souls to a giant white light in the sky. This representation may be alluding to the idea that many people who report near-death experiences describe a tunnel with a bright light at the end that draws them towards it. Coco's spirit world, on the other hand, is complex and bursting with colours, with the Marigold Bridge forming a connection between the land of the living and the elaborate and complex land of the dead. Fear not though, because we can resolve these differences by turning to Pixar's official The Art of Soul book,
Yo, I'm completely confused. What did she say?
which describes the Great Beyond as a place beyond all that can be known, represented by a brilliant white light in a vast space. What lies beyond the light is all up to interpretation. As the book suggests, we
Jesus
can
and
interpret what's
God.
beyond the bright light in our own way, and so we can see the Land of the Dead in Coco as a culturally specific vision of what the afterlife is, unique to people of Mexican heritage. This would also explain how Coco can have its own specific rules for its spirit world, such as allowing the dead to cross over to the land of the living one day each year. What's common to both Soul and Coco, though, is that the dead souls all retain the appearance and age they had at the time of their death, whereas in The Great Before, all the souls look more or less similar.
Yeah, they really do, though. Like, they really did. I don't know. But the first part of the movie, bro, I was kind of confused. But hey.
Likely because they haven't taken a human form yet. The sparks that a soul acquires may even explain where the supers in The Incredibles got their powers. Could it be that the souls that ended up as superheroes were supercharged with extra powers by the spark they
Ain't no way Soul and Incredibles is connected, bro. I would not believe this.
received in The Great Before? There is, after all, a statue of what looks like a caped hero on a plinth in the Hall of Everything. Maybe
That's
that
Mr.
statue
Incredible!
was responsible for sparking the unfortunate idea of caped superheroes.
No capes!
And this is just a fun idea, but could the soul that's being interviewed here for the youth seminar training video be the soul of Buddy Pine, aka Syndrome?
I'm a manipulative megalomaniac who's intensely opportunistic.
Oh, this one might be a...
Bro, this is literally him. Man, these theories, bro.
handful. I bet that's Earth's problem.
Perhaps Syndrome got his spark from that statue, because after all it was his cape that proved to be his ultimate undoing. And yes, Syndrome wasn't born with powers, but that statue might have inspired him to seek glory in whatever way he could. Or could that soul be Evelyn Dever, the master manipulator and evil tech genius from the second Incredibles
Bro,
movie?
she seemed drunk all the
soul's
time.
Possibly female-sounding voice might also suggest this, although we know from 22 that a soul can change their voice to sound like any type of person.
I could sound like this if I wanted to.
Or sound like this instead.
I could even sound like you.
If you like either of these ideas, leave a thumbs up, or comment below with which other Pixar character you
I am not doing that.
think this troublemaking soul could be. Now I want to thank our sponsor NordVPN for helping make this video happen. If you want to keep yourself safe,
Hey, man. Hey, bro. We do not care, man. I'm sorry.
theory, and if you enjoyed any of my
Alright, y'all. That seems like that's the end of the video. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on my video if you want and subscribe. And yeah, guys. I'm out. God bless. Peace. Oops, wrong button.